Now, when I do this, I love to begin to reflect on four living creatures found in Revelation chapter 4, verse 8. In this verse, we've got four living creatures. They're surrounding the throne of God. They've got six wings, eyes all around them, and they're worshiping God nonstop. Let's jump into it. And the four living creatures, each of them with six wings, are full of eyes all around and within. And day and night they never cease to say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. These four living creatures are surrounding the throne of God. They're in his presence, and they're crying out, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. Now, I have two questions. In order to understand why the glory of God is so important, why it's so special, why Christ died primarily for the glory of his Father, I've got two questions. Here's question number one. Do you think these four living creatures have a free will? Do you think they have a free will? In other words, are they forced to worship him? God created them only to worship him? Or did he give them a free will and they are choosing to worship him? Well, I've given this talk thousands of times, and I always ask my audiences this question. And as I ask them this question, they begin to ponder and they begin to think, and I try to help them to think through, how does this make God look either good or bad on either one of the scenarios? So we begin to talk about it, they begin to think about it, and so I say, okay, let's think through the options. Let's assume they do not have a free will. How does that make God look? And they'll sit there and they'll think about it and they'll say, well, I guess, if God is forcing them to worship him, it kind of makes God look like a dictator. Yes, it does. It makes God look like a dictator. What else? I don't know, maybe he's got a poor self-image and he's just waiting for people to worship. I said, good. Anything? And so they're going through it and they begin to realize, if these living creatures do not have a free will, then he is looking kind of like a dictator, like an old woman who wants praise, who's getting dressed up and saying, please praise me, please praise me, please praise. It doesn't make God look very good. But flip it around. If they do have a free will, if they do have a free will, how does that make God look? And my audience usually sits there and they start to, think about it. They're a little hesitant. They don't want to say the answer. But then someone usually says, I guess it makes God look really good. I say, yeah, why? Think through it. Why? And so they're sitting there thinking through it, and it makes them look good, I guess, because they don't want to leave.